Every woman I know wants to do pull-ups, but they're always pulling from their arms or their shoulders. So I'm really happy that we're doing this video here at New Tech because
I know, it's about time.
We've got my grandfather up here at the...
Yeah, it's your grandfather and some other guy. I don't know who that guy is.
If you guys are new to bodybuilding, this is Sergio, Olivia, and Junior. And his dad was a 3-time Mr. Olympia, like classic bodybuilder, right?
I guess it's kind of a big deal, yeah.
Kind of a big deal. But no, the bigger deal is that you are the only father and son that have been on the Mr. Olympia stage. Like no one in bodybuilding history has achieved that.
That was Mr. Olympia, yeah.
That was also Mr. Olympia.
Yeah, no pressure, right?
Yeah, right,
Right. It was actually my mom who was in the gym with me. I've only been in the gym one day with my dad.
And I saw your baby pic too, of him holding you. And then I also realized that I'm older than you.
Maybe only by a little bit.
Like a couple months.
Because,
Yeah.
we're still 80s babies.
Yeah, 80s babies, represented for the 84 right here.
And dude, I think also like you, we looked better as we got older.
Absolutely.
Your younger photos are like mine.
Isn't that crazy?
I look like a cancer victim, like those donate $1 a day to the like African kids with like a fly landing on his head. So now the older we get, I'm trying to, one, you have to train better, but also you do learn a lot that you were doing wrong. And I think that's the biggest thing that I think that we can try and teach people is even though you're aging in your number, you can age in knowledge as well.
Absolutely. Bodybuilding is the fountain of youth.
It really is.
Yeah. So look at that form. We're gonna lighten the load a little bit. I know when I can flex. I'm very humble, but I'm like not gonna downplay things that I know I'm good at. Okay, so here, you're very good at kind of breaking it down. I saw you have like a little.
If I had to pick one trick for all day today, it's learning to move your back without bending your arms. So the beginning of every back exercise should be the weight moving without your arms bent. And then at the end, you use the biceps to finish it off. A lot of guys, especially ego lift, they'll yank it with their biceps and at the back squeeze. When really the back moving is what's generating the movement to begin with. And the more that you slide those elbows on the side of you is going to get that lower back, like we were trying the lower lats anyway, without making you wider. There's also a little balance in there.
So I really want to point this out because you can really see it in how Sergio performs these. You can literally see a 2-step process here. 1, 2. You can see right there. 1, 2. That's amazing form. This is the type of form that you want to have when you're doing rows. And just like Sergio said, any back exercise, even pull downs, you should be able to move the weight without even bending your elbows first, because you get that movement in the scapula. That was great form. And that is really heavy. Whew. I'm tired watching you.
And the only reason I even know this is because I tore my bicep bowling, of all things. So when I got back into working out, I really had to make sure I was getting the most out of an exercise without adding more weight.
Yeah.
So learning to pull your scapula back, even just doing a couple exercises where it hangs and you just practice that, or with the lat pull down, letting it stretch you is good kind of teaching.
Turn around, show that movement one more time. So see the movement, move there and then pull. So it's move and then drive. I think people miss that part and they're like, why am I not growing? I promise you, if you learn how to do that, you'll be able to do pull-ups so much faster. Every woman I know wants to do pull-ups, but they're always pulling from their arms or their shoulders.
Right, of course.
And they're not getting that activation.
Guys too.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Oh, got it.
Form was still perfect.
Trying.
So what I love about this workout is we're doing all the same exercises that I pretty much do year round. And obviously Sergio is a well-accomplished, established bodybuilder, a man. He's been training for a long time. And even as a woman, I'm in my 40s. still doing the same exercises, obviously with a different weight selection, but you know, we're still going to do the same things. And I think that's what a lot of women miss out on. They think like, I don't want to look like a bodybuilder, so I have to somehow train differently. And they don't really understand, like, you know, our genetics are obviously different. You know, our weight selection is different. What's hard for me is obviously probably a lot easier for him. And it's all in the technique and how you perform it to then create the shape. But most women are not going to turn into a male bodybuilder without extreme amounts of, you know, testosterone or, you know, enhancements of some sort. So it's just, I think just goes to show you can actually train the same as a man and get really, really outstanding results as a woman. We are moving on to the lat pull down.
So immediately what most people do is they immediately slide all the way under. And so when you slide all the way under, you have to come back because the cable is already behind you.
Yeah.
So a good tip is actually automatically barely put your knees under. Because you can lean back a little bit, but that shouldn't be the thing that's driving the power. You could do that at the end, maybe as you're getting tired. So if you put your knees under, it forces you that you have to bring your elbows in front of you. And that's the biggest mistake. People roll backwards.
Yeah.
And so, especially for women, all you end up doing was making yourself wider, where usually at the bottom, like I'm talking about, and it's something I had to learn too now that I'm over 40, your skin elasticity, it's just really hard to keep up with that. And that's the first area, is that tire that I was talking about. So of course, doing stiff leg aids, deadlifts, those will work your erectors, hyperextensions, but that's only the bottom of your back. The lats, which is the little butterfly part, also can get a little loose, loosey-goosey.
Yeah.
And bringing your elbows down in front of you, thinking that there's a string pulling, and that's what you're pulling from, is the elbow. You're not driving from your hands. Will tone out that lower lat.
Yeah, it's really interesting. We'll hear exercises that are to get rid of we call it the bra bulge. So like right there for women. Now, obviously body fat has to be low enough. So there's two parts here. You got to get your body fat low enough, but also if you just have loose skin, right, there's nothing filled in there, but you can fill in that space.
That's the only way to do it.
Muscle.
Right. It's to fill it in with muscle.
Yeah. All right.
So even getting super lean can make it look really worse if you don't have that muscle.
Yeah.
It's like deflating a balloon.
Right. Okay, so you kind of went wide on this.
So it's not wide for me.
Okay, yeah, that's a good point.
But
that's a good point.
Right, exactly. Because you're not trying to get wider,
right,
the more narrow you go. But if you're trying to figure out how wide to go with your hands at home, you just want to figure out what can bring your elbows in front of you. If you go so wide, it's impossible to bring your elbows in front of you.
I feel judged right now.
So let's try and do that Dorian row. At the bottom, you just hold it and then let it up. Even if it's just for half a second. That. Try and do it a little bit longer. There, like that. You can hold it too long, so don't hold it too long. But just because you tried to stop, if you think about one exercise, one way is one exercise, and then the way up is a different exercise, you'll do it differently. You can do a whole back workout, and because you did a pull down, you did a horizontal row, you did a T-bar row, and you can do a dumbbell row, and you actually just did the same muscle over and over again. So like we were saying, if I did a lat pull down and I go all the way down, that's just a row. It's the same thing as this. Yeah. And so the same thing with dumbbell row, most people, if they do it on the bench, they just go up and down.
Right.
So again, that's the same thing you've been doing all day. Okay. So trying to hit your back from different angles, and that's why I really don't like when people do it at the rack, because what you end up doing is you use these legs to kind of drive when it's really heavy. It gives you that stretch, which is what you want, but no matter what, my form is already up. So this is already not good. Unless you're a guy, then it's really gonna kind of make your lats really thick at the bottom.
Yeah.
So on the bench is really good But the form needs to be like putting the dumbbell in your back pocket.
Yep.
So there has to be this going backwards. And so the what I always say to my clients, I don't know what's right for everything, but I definitely know what's wrong. And so that I can help
Don't
you
do
with.
that.
Yeah, I know what not to do.
What not to do.
So if you're trying to now work that, we call them the back boobs.
Here.
You have to put that elbow in close. Because if I come out, which is, I'm going to be stronger, which is going to make me feel good, I'm not working any of that area. And it's going to be up here. Rear delt, upper back, which probably you already did with all those exercises.
Right.
So being able to reach out, look up, because a good way that people cheat on this is they round the back. So it's impossible if you look up to round your back. I can't even do it without looking down. So a good kind of safety is to look up,
So you're getting here.
stretch, and then you're pulling it back here. And I'm sliding this elbow along my body. I'm not doing this or this way.
Elbow in.
A good position I always like to be, because if you put your foot right under you, that means that when you're coming down, all the weight goes on that leg. So your back's not really getting any of the negative. So if you push it out of the way and you're on your toe, then everything that's here is the lat, because there's nothing stopping me from falling over. So reach out to the dumbbells and back here.
Yeah. I call it like a tripod, right? You got the 3 points here, right? And so the reason we're doing this kind of variation is to just attack the back from a different angle, right? Like all of the back is still working, but you can sort of, let's say bias, I don't know if that's the right word, but sort of maybe activate specific area.
You have nicer ways of saying things.
Biomechanic gods are going to come and attack me if I say it incorrectly. Your whole back is effectively working. It's just, you can feel it, right? You can feel this kind of pinch right in there. You can feel this working.
And the same thing, you still want to be able to contract your back without bending your arm.
Right.
So I'm coming back.
I think the lengthening really helps.
Yeah.
To get that contraction.
So if you think of it like 3 movements, it's 1, 2, and then at the end. Because it's just that. That's all you're working, is by getting that elbow in there.
I feel it.
We do the same weight.
I just realized that was almost 100 pounds. You made that look so easy. So it feels heavier in the lengthened position here, this first half of the rep. I like it.
You really should do these videos with someone bad, because the first thing that people are going to do wrong if they don't know what they're doing is the shoulders pop up. So even trying to tell you to do that, you're already fixing it.
Several years ago, this was an area that I really struggled. My like mid to lower tracts, mid back. I really struggled to feel it.
I mean, if you live off of a laptop, like your job is, or a computer, those traps are just taking over, nonstop. You'll get people with like neck problems, or sometimes they get like a sciatica, which is like, it feels like it's in your butt, your lower back.
Yeah.
That's all actually lower back. Doing hyperextensions where it's the abs of the back. No one's doing that. No one's, people don't, especially women, they don't work on things you don't see in the mirror.
Yeah.
It's just, it is what it is. But the back boobs, is what I call it, the hamstrings, those are the first to go when you get older. And so when you look in the mirror, you might turn and look at your butt, but you can't see the back of your hamstring.
Yeah.
So stiff-legged, leg curls, back extensions.
What do you think your strongest point is?
Arms.
Arms.
I have to literally not train them So it's not a coincidence. My best body part is the opposite movement of my worst body parts. So my chest and my back are my worst, and my bis and tris are my best.
Got it.
And in the beginning, like I said, you grow no matter what. If I just came in and I just touched it, I'm gonna grow.
Right.
And it's not until you get on stage and then those judges are like, yeah, your arms are great. That's cool story.
Yeah.
But you're last place. The first time I did nationals, I got literally dead last. And when I went into it, I wasn't thinking like I'm gonna win, but I thought I was gonna do well. I got literally dead last. And then that reminded me, there's no point of just doing a show and another show and another show. Like, life is telling you, you don't have what you need. So I took a good amount of time off, and it ended up taking me 10 years to get my pro card. But the next time that I went back, I won the whole thing.
But that was very normal. Today, everybody thinks they're going to get into bodybuilding, whatever category, and get their pro card in the first year. Is this heavy for you?
No. But it's good to practice that because it's so easy to row it.
Yeah.
During that beginning, it's even hard for me too because my other muscles want to help and you have to take them out.
Right. You have to think about the muscle that you're trying to work.
Every rep, yeah.
So in addition to the thinking about the muscle, working that muscle, like what you just said, also make it hard. You can take this weight and make it hard, and a rookie could come in and be like, this is too light.
The first time I came to this gym, I was like, oh my God, this is like classic cars. I slapped on 2 plates. I did 3.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I actually realized I'm not doing anything.
Right.
And I had to restart all over.
Because you could use a lot of power and force, but not feel that muscle that you're trying to develop.
Yeah, and it's different for guys too, because a woman can go in the gym and they're not worried about what anyone else is thinking, like as in how much weight they're doing. It's such a guy thing for someone right next to you.
Yeah.
There'll be like a bunch of 13-year-olds and they're like looking like, I do 5 plates on that.
Yeah.
But they're just like
Right.
convulsing.
Most men probably need to drop their weight down a little bit. Most women probably need to increase their weight.
Absolutely, that's a great point, for sure.
Somewhere in there. A lot of the new tech equipment feels like a ride, like an amusement park, and all of the old school stuff feels like you're in a medical facility. I'm like, what does this do?
That's a good comparison for sure.
So this is actually a back machine
It is.
that I've never seen.
This one has 2 handles. This one's gonna be more upper back, pulling. I actually like to use this one.
Okay.
So again, like we were talking about before, is the hardest thing working out is learning what are your strong parts of your body. And once you can figure out what you're good at, you can take them out of the workout. So for me, this is so much arms that I could do it with no problem, but it's not helping the part of the back that I need the most.
Yeah.
So I like this one, this position here.
Yeah.
And it's a good one to practice with what we were talking about, squeezing your back without rowing.
I like this.
So it's a good 1, 2. And you can go wider.
So it seems like it's going to work like lower trap.
Because I'm pushing the handles together.
Yep.
So if I pull the handles out, I'm working more outer lat out
Right.
here. But I'm gonna push these in and do the same thing we've been
it
doing
close.
and pull. And I'm actually pulling down to the floor. Everything that you do, anyone, male or female,
Yeah.
if you're trying to drive down, it's gonna take your shoulder, your rear delts out of it, or your traps. A lot of women, especially if they have like an office job, you're so used to using these muscles that you think it's moving, that I'm working the right ones. Where you can get rid of them, like I said before, I don't know what to do what's right, but I know what's wrong. And if you always go down, it's a good fail safe that you're always doing it right.
Yeah.
But you can't see that.
So you can't see. You have to think about driving down.
So yeah, what's the difference on video? What's the difference between this and this? It looks the same.
It looks the same.
But the second one was way harder, and I pulled down to the floor.
So the cue that you have to think about is when you're pulling it, you're thinking about driving it down. Even though the person looking at you can't see that that's what you're doing.
It took me a while. When I was watching these videos, there was no YouTube. I'd have to buy their DVDs. And then I'm like, I can do that. And then I do it, and I'm like,
So this is what I said at the beginning of the video is the best thing that people can do is get around people who do this stuff, or at least like fortunately today we have YouTube. So you can watch content like this where we actually talk about this stuff. All right, so did I deliver a good first YouTube together?
I think it's pretty good.
I think this is a good one.
I think it's going to be good for the right people.
Yeah.
I think if you want to see some heavy weight being slung around and really not learn anything from it, then probably not the video for you.
Yeah. No, I think this was really good. We're going to do one more set here and wrap up this workout and go eat. I need to eat.
For sure.
And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you want to see more like this, I know we're already talking about doing a follow-up video. So if you guys have questions for Sergio or myself on all things bodybuilding, go ahead and drop it in the comments. If you guys like this video, please share it with a friend, and we'll see you guys next time.